The smart, connected supply chain. The future is now. Well, joining us to talk about that today, Janice Abel, Principal Consultant, ARC Advisory Group. Janice, welcome.
Thanks, Russell. It's great to be here.
Janice, I want to take you back over the last couple of years or so. Let's talk about how you see the supply chain and the changes that have taken place in it. What would you say?
Well, I'd just say that one of the biggest changes and challenges that we're seeing is the ability for the partners and the suppliers to share information. And this is getting a lot easier because of the cloud. And the cloud is expected to grow substantially. And I think that's probably one of the areas that I've seen a big change in the ability to share information that's needed by all of the different distributors and partners.
Let's talk about the smart connected factory. And one of the reasons that we're seeing that come about is because there's a convergence of manufacturing information with the supply chain. Well, walk us through that.
Well, manufacturing is integrating many of the systems and technologies so that they can get the information that they need, particularly in industries like the pharmaceutical and the food industry, where in the supply chain, it's really important because of track and trace and also to be able to track the product and where it goes right to, from the raw materials right through to the supply chain to the customer. And in addition to that, the other part is, on another aspect of the business, is the product innovation. And to be able to be adaptable and flexible in the supply chain so that they can adapt at the supply chain end in the manufacturing end, so they can adapt to customer experience, customer demand, and all of that's important in the supply chain today.
Not only is it important, but clearly that is something that is mandatory, particularly as you mentioned in the pharmaceutical supply chain, in those areas where there is such stringent federal regulation. But it's one thing to talk about convergence. It's another thing to actually see it employed. Is this something that is in fact being implemented in a comprehensive, widespread manner across industries, or is it something we're more talking about right now than actually seeing?
No, I think it's actually happening because people have to make it happen. People in some industries, especially the regulated industries, they require the tracking from the raw materials right through the supply chain to the customer. So they need to know that that product's legitimate and the product is real. So they are actually doing that, and they're integrating technologies to do it now. But I think it's going to get even easier in the future.
Well, let's talk about future. Let's talk about technologies that you see emerging as we go forward.
The smart, connected digital factory is a reality today. There are factories that are completely lights out factories, and it goes right out to the manufacturer, to the client, and it is about the customer experience today. That people want to take, it's about the customer experience and getting that information, making intelligent decisions, whether that's in product innovation or whether that's in changing the product and making a new product, and whether that's in tracking the product all through the supply chain. And it's all important today. And I think it's much more important getting the information and having the data that people need so that the end result is that the customer, that the company, the manufacturer, is much more competitive in a global manufacturing environment.
Final question, Janice. Any other technologies that you see emerging in the supply chain?
Yes, Russell. Actually, we see the Internet of Things is a reality, and people are connecting things. And what they're doing is they're using analytic tools as well as the manufacturing intelligence part of it so that they get the information that they need to get to make actionable decisions. And that's really important today because the better that the person can respond to changes and things that are happening, the company is much more competitive and can align itself with the customers.
And in fact, from what I'm hearing from you, the future is now. Janice, I know you're busy here at the forum, but you took time to sit down and meet with us. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Russell. Really appreciate it.
It's Janice Abel, ARC Advisory Group, and speaking with us today about the smart, connected supply chain. Thank you for watching.